Hello everyone, I'm Woozy, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to make basses like on this track. Alright, so before I jump into the main basses, I'm gonna show you how I made the sub bass, which sounds like this. It's quite a thick sub bass. It's made with two sine waves. This one, as you can see, is quite different in terms of the waveform to this. The way I made it was by removing all of those and just adding the third harmonic up to 70%. And this is at 21% volume, while this is at 75, and both of them are down 2 octaves, and the wavetable position in this is 81. On the filtering we have an MG low 24, which only cuts out oscillator A. The cutoff is at 322 Hz, with filter tribe at 39%, resonance fat all the way down, mix 100. In the effects, there's no effects, so this is it basically for the sub. Before we jump into the main basses, I want to show you guys the group processing, which is quite straightforward. It's Valhalla vintage web with 5.6% of mix on the drop and throughout this, with the decay at 0.31 seconds, the mode set to room, color 1970s, that comes automatically, I haven't changed it, and the low cut set to 400 Hz because I don't really want no reverb below 400 to reduce muddiness within the track. Besides the vintage reverb, I have two limiters. First to limit the reds, and the second one to limit the reds from the first limiter. So there's no tiny dips, like as you saw from there. Alright, so off to the main bass. Sounds like this. And in the Serum, oscillator A is set to -1 in the octaves. It's just a sine wave, and the level is automated by LFO1. And LFO1 also automates the level of oscillator B and the noise. And the reason I have the noise here is so it has more high end, so the bass sounds fuller in the frequency spectrum. Oscillator B is set to +1 octave with the semitones all the way up +12, and the level goes from 0 to 72, and oscillator A, the level goes from 14% to 90. In the filtering I have this reverb. The cutoff is 185, the resonance is at 0%, tribe 57%, damp all the way down, and in the noise I have the bright white with the level set from 0 to 4%, so it's just a slight boost in the higher end. The LFO1 is shaped like this, and also I have the portamento at 297 milliseconds, mono on and legato also on. In the effects, I have tube distortion, the tribe set to 83%. I've added some chorus with a high pass filter at 561 Hz, feedback 10%, depth at 4.8, delay all the way down, delay 1 is at 4.8 milliseconds, rate 0.08 Hz. With the mix 39%. Below the chorus I have a compressor. The compressor threshold is at -18.3 decibels, ratio is like this. Attack is set to 90 milliseconds, release also 90 milliseconds, gain is set to all the way down, and in the multiband I have everything at 100%, so no change here, I just applied the multiband. And the compressor's mix is all the way up to 100. So after Serum, I have added this FabFilter Pro EQ to pretty much boost everything, because I felt like the sound didn't really come through as punchy and clean as I wanted. So I boosted the highs quite significantly right here, and major boosts at 2820 and 1331 Hz, with this being the lowest and these being around 3.50 decibels to 4.25. And of course cut out all the lows, because I have a custom made sub-bass layer that goes underneath this bass track. So let's move on to the main part of the video, which is the wobble bass. And I have 3 different channels of wobble. First one is like this. Second one is the main. And the third one. So there's quite small differences with the 3 channels. This one, the rate is different. Nothing really else has been done here. And this one is the main one, which the main rate is at 1/16. And this is also 1/16, but this has the sub that comes within the Serum patch, just to kinda change up the sound of the low end. So the Serum patch of all 3 is exactly the same. So in the oscillator A, I have FFT add seconds with -1 octave and the wavetable position at 204. The wavetable position is modulated by LFO1. It goes from 204 all the way down to -100. I have the FM from B set to 17%, and the LFO1 also modulates the level of oscillator B. It goes from 0% all the way to 45. The octaves are also set to -1, such as in oscillator A. As you can see, this sine waveform has been slightly changed. I have removed all the bins and I have custom made it. So the bin 1 is set to 73%, bin 3 is at 28%, and bin 5 is 15%. This creates this kind of waveform which alters the sound in a way that it kind of fits the wobble characteristics a bit better. And of course I have done some filtering. I use high 18 with the cutoff at 370 Hz, resonance 27%, drive at 15%, fat 15%, and mix all the way up, and it is only applied to oscillator A. Along with LFO1, as you can see, I also have LFO2, which is used as an envelope to the sound. The rate is set to a bar. In the effects, it's quite basic. Dupe, distortion, drive 50%, mix 50%, and compressor with the ratio at limit, threshold all the way down, attack 0, release 0.1, gain all the way down, mix 100. And that's basically it for the wobble bass. It's quite a straightforward sound to make. And that's basically all there is to the wobble patch. Besides Serum, I also added a little bit of cut out all the lows around 180 Hz and boosted the frequencies at 468 and at 1957 to give it a bit more boost in the mids, so the warp it comes through more cleaner. Let's take a look how it sounds with the filter. Without it. Quite a big difference. And that wraps up this wobble tutorial. I hope this video was helpful and useful to you guys. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments or DM me. I will happily reply to all of them. And as a side note, I have a bunch of free wobble bass samples in my free Jump Up Bass Sample Pack, which you can get from my sample store. The link to that is in the description down below. And if you wish to have some personal assistance with your drum and bass productions, I also have an online coaching service, which you can find in the description down below. But yeah, that's it for now. Take care guys, stay safe, peace.